Allora ritorniamo veloce al nostro convegno e chiedo al dottor Romeo Sommers, professionista in interior scaping, di parlarci del verde interno e lo spazio vitale, un connubio necessario. Un personaggio eccezionale. Cominciate a mettervi le cuffie perché ci parlerà in inglese. Ha lavorato come fiorista a Londra con clienti come Buckingham Palace, con la Shell, col British Petrol, eccetera. È specializzato in tendenze, che è una cosa bellissima. Fa l'osservatore e lo stilista del verde. Quindi vediamo un po' con i suoi occhiali verdi, come dice lui, che cosa può raccontarci di come sarà il futuro prossimo in Europa, poi prima o poi arriva sempre anche in Italia.
Is there a sound? Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm going to do the presentation in English. Sorry, I don't speak any Italian yet, but maybe in the future I will. I'm taking you through my life, and I want to show you my life, my city, my house in the future, with gardens, with plants, and what I think it will look like. So, my living space seen through my spectacles. My name is Romeo Sommers. I'm a trend scout. I'm a green stylist. I make concepts for garden centers, also suppliers, growers, and I help them to look in a new way at green, what you can do. And in Holland, I also have a television show on the Dutch TV, just to try to get people more enthusiastic about green, about plants, and I try to get Europe more green. It's a jungle out there. That's how I want to start. And it's not just a natural jungle, it's a man-made jungle. And that's interesting, because when we look around, the jungle is like this. It's industry, it's pollution, and like the first speech we had this morning from Mr. Bird, he said this people from many, many years ago trying to survive in a world without any green. Actually, I had this picture, and it's almost the same. These people from many, many years ago trying to survive this urban jungle we have. So what I say is stop. We have to realize what we're doing and look in a different way at green. Look through my green spectacles. Go through my life through these green spectacles. What do I see? I want to make green fun, so that's why we have to look in a different way. And how nice would it be if we have people standing in a line like these dogs to enjoy nature? And is that possible? I think so, and I hope at the end of my show you will also think it's possible. The first thing I did, I asked some of the girls and the young people, what do you think about nature? And the first thing they say is boring. And that's interesting. And I said, but look at what's happening now. Green flowers, plants are really trend. Look at what Dior is doing with all the plants. Look at what Chanel is doing at the catwalk with all the plants. And even here, Dries van Noten, who had like a catwalk full with grasses and mosses. That's interesting. Also with jewelry, we see suddenly there's a lot of interest. We have jewelry with small plants, or a necklace with plants, or for the gentleman on the breast, we have plants. When I show that, the girls say, oh yeah, well actually that's interesting, I quite like that. But when you talk about nature, like we see here, it's totally boring. So what kind of nature do you like? Well, we like this kind of nature. It's all man-made. It's all covered. I know it's the right temperature. We don't have rain. We don't have flies. If I want to go to the beach, we have the beach. If I want to go to the tropical to the swimming pool, it's here. In the middle, I have the jungle. It's all perfect. There are no flies. It's really easy to enjoy. Interesting. And we can make everything ourselves. Why don't we make our own islands like we do? We want to have it just the way we want, like we want it, not just nature. No, we're going to create our nature. And when I asked them, what is nature? They told me, these parts in the middle of this highway, that's nature. And I was surprised, because that's not nature. So, just for your inference, it's estimated that in the near future, more and more people will live in cities. The rise in the population and the climate change will have a great impact will have a great impact on how cities can be improved to meet the need of the future generation and protecting the environment. How would I like to live and work in the city of the future? I would like a city like this. A city where I'm aware of the environment, that I know what to do with all the rain and the temperatures, and where I live happily and feel good. Like here. This is the city of the future. Lots of green, and it reduces the particles in the air, it reduces the nitrogen dioxide, and it reduces the city temperature. Is this really a nice area to live in? But then is it? And what are we doing at the moment now? If I go to New York, this is the High Line, and this is made by Pete Outdolf, and he created this park on this bandit railway, and he made his own nature. And the best thing is, it absorbs rainwater. We have less extreme water problems because the rainwater is absorbed by the plants in the soil. The green roofs we have, they will also absorb about 60% of all the rainfall. And we see wildlife. We see butterflies, we see bees, all these things. Also what Greenpeace finds so interesting, we can help them. In my own city in Holland, I'm from Holland, we also have our own little skyline like here, and we made a bridge, also with green, again to try to get nature back into our city, all man-made. We heard a lot about the green walls. I know after me there's also one person talking about the green walls, the vertical gardens, and we can do it in different ways. It can be very, very difficult, but we can also use climbing plants, like the photo you see here. On the other side, just going to use containers with plants, and you create your own vertical garden, or do it more extreme. I found this photo here really interesting. I have a shade which take away the sun. If I don't want the sun inside, I can pick it off these shades. It's interesting. But we want more. If I look at the girls and they say, I really want nature to be like I want it. And I live in the city, I have my own apartment. It's a very interesting to have your own swimming pool on your balcony, grow your own herbs on the balcony, have your little forest on your own balcony. That's possible in the future. But also now we can do small things we don't always think about. Why don't we change our balcony like here and grow our own vegetables on our own my own balcony, or have my little private garden in my balcony? And when I talk to the people and I talk to the girls and ask, what should the future be like of my city? They say this: it should be green. Lots of plants, because it makes me feel good. But there's a big but. I don't want the hustle and the fussle and work with all the plants. I would like to have this robot who does all the work for me, so I just have to enjoy nature, like we see here. And we find it very interesting. We still want to go back to nature. That's in our genes, like Mr. Bird told us this morning. But I don't want to work in nature. I just want to go there, relax, enjoy it, have fun, and feel good. And if possible, I would also like to control the weather. So why don't we put a roof over my park, so I know we have all the time good weather, all the time the perfect day to go out and have my own picnic. And we do have these gardens, we do have these parks where you can sit inside and enjoy the parks. It's almost like art, we see here. But then, also like shops, it's really important to give your own brand a green feeling. It's really, really important. And that's because we have a good feeling. When I'm walking around in the green area, I have this really good feeling. And when I combine green with my brand have a positive experience, more positive than when you just see stones. So that's what we see here with the green garden and a shop. But also inside the shopping mall, we make green, because we see our customers feel themselves more happy, more relaxed, and they attempt to be buying more stuff, because we feel good. And we even see green nowadays inside shops. This is a shop for jeans, Levi, And look at all the green. We have a big green garden inside. Why? Because it makes me feel good and I want to buy. Here I have a photo, which is interesting. Does that work as well? If I just show a photo, I don't make a whole green wall with living plants, but just a photo. Yes, it works. We have the same good feeling. Not as much with real life plants, but if so, we can have the same feeling. So also now you see more and more people working with pictures and photos of plants. And then, seeing the city outside, I would like to take you back to my home. How does my home look like? I like to have plants in my house, but again, I don't want to work with plants. I don't want to hustle. I don't want to give them water all day. So it would be nice if I have my own robot. And what we see nowadays is that more and more suppliers are checking what we can do. So what you see in the photo is we have containers. They have a reservoir of water. It has a light with LED, which gives the perfect light for the plant so it can grow inside. And we have an app. I don't have to do anything. I just promote it, and it works. And I just have to enjoy my plants. This is what we think about plants. It should be easy. And what is interesting, every year I come again here to Milan, to the design week, and look around and see what the young designers are doing, because these are the people who actually show what is trend and not. And these young designers are really interested in plants. And they look at plants in a different way. They look from behind it with the mirrors, or they look really, really close up to plants. And that's interesting, because most of the time we are just looking with these eyes just in this narrow look, but open it and see all the possibilities with green. What is possible? What we have to realize is that most of us live indoor, and what most of us don't know is that the air quality in the city has been shown to be cleaner than the air inside. And it's because of all the pollutants and gases that are inside our house and rarely get out. Often our air inside is 9 times more polluted than outside in the city. And to maintain a pure and healthy air indoors, we need plants in our homes to give us a daily boost of good air and make us feel good. So if we need our plants to have good air, we can do it like this young designer said, okay, let's get this machine, put the plant in, and for sure we have good air. But that's of course extreme. We don't go that way. But we can do it more simple. This is a very simple way. We have these purifying air plants who purify the air. So what they do, for example, they clean the air in a working spot. They remove workplace toxins, or create oxygen during the daytime, or even create oxygen during the night. And it's interesting. We even have now planters which also cleans the air or makes the air more humid. So more and more we got aware of what we can do with plants. We have like these machines which create plants and try to create this better atmosphere and better oxygen inside our homes, because we understand how important that is. On the other side, we get more and more like the stylist. My house should be really, really beautiful. It should be fashion. So with plants, they should be perfectly fitted in my room, in my interior. It should be like fashion. And I want plants in places where we never had them before. Like my grandmother had the plants in front of the window. Nowadays, I say all the way in the back of my room, there's this dark spot, it's empty. I would like to have my plants there. So what you see now is behind the couch, suddenly we have this painting of plants. Or under the stairs, we have our plants as well, because that place is not so nice, and it would be nice if we have plants. Luckily now, with the techniques we have at LED, it's possible to have our plants all the way back in our rooms where there's not enough light. So what we see now more and more is we see the vertical gardens inside our homes. And we go more extreme. Why not just a wall of plants, but why not a ceiling with plants? So you get this nice filtered light coming through, and it's like inside your living room, having the feeling you're inside the forest. Or build your own forest in your house. Why don't we place a tree inside our home, or build our home around a tree? Or make a little park inside our house. So when I'm inside, I can look outside and see this really nice little park in my house, just to make me feel good. Of course, we can do it also smaller. Just create a small table, a few plants on it. It makes us feel good. And just by looking at these plants, it will regenerate yourself and reduces the stress level. So you feel good. And it looks good. Also, the young designers are really looking, what can we do with plants? Well, you can make chairs with plants. You can sit on it, maybe make lampshades with plants like this, or do it this way. On the right-hand side, we have the lamps with the plants for just decoration. On the left-hand side, I can grow my own herbs inside the plant. So it looks green, I have the perfect atmosphere, and I can actually harvest my own herbs for my own light in my living room. And we can go even more extreme. Why don't we use our simply daily stuff to grow plants? If it rains outside, I put down my umbrella and it drops. It gives the water to my plant. And you can do it yourself. But now you see also young designers really looking at it and thinking, what can I do? How can I use plants? How can you reuse again water? It's interesting. The young designers are really interested in what we can do in new ways with plants. Also in the kitchen. We can have herbs in the kitchen, but why don't we hang them up? It looks good, it's funny, it's different, it's design, and I can still pick my herbs and cook with them. Or, again, make my green wall inside the kitchen with all fresh herbs. So how nice would it be? I'm cooking, picking my herbs, and they're fresh. Don't go outside, it's inside. It should be fun. Plants in our house should be fun. And again, young designers, looking at these plants, what can we do with it? New kitchen, and here the plants are already integrated. So many possibilities. Going to my next room, I take you to my life. We're going to my bedroom. It's interesting to see what we can do with plants in the bedroom. Why? If you have if you have plants, you feel more relaxed, you feel happy, you have good oxygen, and you sleep well. There's another thing. Do you know the name of this plant? The name of this plant is the Bromelia ananas. But in Holland we also call it an anti-snore plant, so you don't snore at night. Why is that? This is one of the few plants who actually produces oxygen during night. And if you want to snore less, you need more oxygen. So put this one in your bedroom, you have more oxygen, and maybe you will snore less. So it's not just making you feel good, but it makes you also snore less and have fun. Or make room dividers in your room with green. Room dividers outside, so you get this nice shaded light going into your bedroom, or make a room divider between your bedroom and where you can change your clothes. Slowly, we become more and more aware that plants not only give a better quality of air, but we feel better. We have less stress, we are less aggressive, and children can concentrate better in an environment with plants. So I take you now to my bathroom. You go in the bathroom, and now in Holland it's very popular to have these bare feet path where you walk around and you go with the bare feet just to experience nature. Why don't I have a bath mat where I come out the shower, stand on the moss get the water from me, so it's daily getting his water from my shower, and it feels good. I'm in touch with nature. And nature makes you feel good. So how nice would it be if I get up, get out of bed, take my shower, and my bathroom would look like this. Totally green. These are some of the things which we experiment now of what is possible. But green helps us to relax, makes us less stressful, and you will start your day happier. Why not make this green seed, this green ball, not just in the living room or outside, but we can also make it inside our bathroom. Again, young designers are looking what can we do with plants in the bathroom. You see, young designers are really looking at all the possibilities where we can use plants. And that's actually how we should look at plants. Where can we use plants to promote them and show them it's fun to work with plants? It's nice to relax and lay on grass. Even though I don't have grass in my garden, you can create this little spot where I can lay down and feel the grass and relax. Or the tree sauna, which is really popular in Scandinavia. It's an area where you can go to the sauna really in the forest, and you're in between these trees where you can relax and enjoy the nice atmosphere of nature. Don't go to a hotel. Go here. It's beautiful. This is your hotel room. You lay outside, you have the feeling you're really into nature. You can look up into the sky, look there and see the stars. At the back here you have this black box. There's where you can change or can go to the toilet, so you have a little bit of privacy. But when you sleep and you see the stars, you don't have the flies, the mosquitoes. It's just having fun, enjoy nature, without the problems you might have with the mosquitoes. Another part. If you're getting sick, you have to go to hospital. Sometimes we forget how much we're inside. And what the doctor says, maybe you should have more time with plants because it makes you feel better. So get well soon. So if you're in hospital, what is really, really important is that you can see plants. When you see plants, you feel less pain because you get more distracted from the pain. You feel better. You have less worries. And that makes your stay in the hospital more comfortable. And one thing what is really interesting, if you stay in a hospital and you have a view on green, on plants, from research we see that normally you're 1 day earlier out of hospital just because you've seen plants. Not because you're better, but because you feel better. And what we see now, this is an example of Copenhagen. This is the Rijks Hotel. They built this hospital. They built this new hospital. And what do? Everywhere inside this hospital, you look outside and you see green. Why? Because I feel more comfortable. I don't worry when I go to hospital. I feel more relaxed, and that helps you. Sometimes we forget that, how important green is. That's what Mr. Bird said this morning. We are born in nature many, many, many years ago, and we still have that in genes. It's really important for us. Also for work. How many offices do have green? The new trend for offices back home is that you make your office in the garden. You sit outside in the garden and you can look at the plants, you feel more relaxed, you can concentrate better, and you work better. You can also use actually the energy from the sun to recharge your lights or recharge your phone, your iPhone. And you see also designers working with that. So you can make, for example, again, this vertical garden, or on the right-hand side, you see this lamp. It's from Roderick Vos, a designer, who makes this lamp with plants. And when you work with it, and you need the electricity, you can plug in, and you have the electricity. But you're working, again, in an environment with plants, because we feel better. And how nice would it be if our garden, or if our office would look like this in the future? And then we need to take our break. We go for lunch. We don't go for lunch like we did here. I didn't see so many plants. No, we take a lunch and we want to regenerate. We want to get more energy. And what would then our canteen look like? It would look like this. I go outside in this little small park where you have plants, you have green, you can relax and you can recharge. Another thing which is interesting to see, if children have a playground like this, you see they are more aggressive, they have less social habits, and they concentrate less. So what happens if we change our playground into a green playground? You see they concentrate better, they have better social habits, they feel better, they can concentrate better, and they have less ADHD. So it's also, again, the positive influence of plants. And it can be very simple by just adding this colorful pot with a nice little tree inside. When I walk around the city and I see a city like this, I feel a little bit, it doesn't feel good. It's the same we heard this morning. And I tend to be more aggressive somehow. And I feel a little bit scared. It feels a little bit awkward if there's no green. And if something happens, maybe you recognize it, we try to get aggressive quite quickly in this way. So what happens if we change the streets and turn them into green streets, like here? Suddenly we see we have less graffiti, less vandalism, less littering, less domestic aggression, less violence, less crime. And what we see is neighbors work together. They try to work together and to maintain this nice garden outside. So it, again, on our social life, it has a very positive way of thinking. And what we see now with the young designers, the young people, if my city isn't green enough, we have guerrilla. We have these seed bombs, I've thrown them anywhere, and I try to change this place without plants into a nice place where we have plants, where we can enjoy it. If I have a wall, which is a new trend again, you have this wall with all these posters, we rip off the poster a little bit, make it like a little bag and put the plant in, and we create our own small vertical garden. Guerrilla. Make our city greener. Make our city more fun. Why don't we use it like this with the graffiti? Green has so many possibilities. And what I like, this is from Berlin. They have like the pop-up park. My city doesn't have so much green or parks. I just rent this parking place one day. I come there, roll out my grass, put a chair there, and I create my park for one day. I paid for one car, so I can stay there the whole day and I create my pop-up park. And again, young designers are looking, what can I do? How can I make my city green? Because I want to make my environment totally green. From my living room to my bathroom, my bedroom, my shops, my city, my street, my bus stop, my bus, or even my subway. With all the techniques we have, the LED lights and everything, we can actually realize this. A subway which is like a park in the ground. My dream, my world would be a city, a house which is totally green, where we live together, where we can harvest our own products, our vegetables, our fruits, and it feels good. And I want to go back for a small recap, because here and now is a trend about organizing, framing, and focusing. The pace of our lives is so often over the speed limit, as we all have to zip from work to friends to family and from online to real life times. Everything is about a constant change. It goes quick, 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 quick. And green is a trend that concentrates on growing need to stop. Take a breath, focus on what is really important right now, and the garden is a magical remedy for us for this. And one of the biggest reasons behind the gardening movement we see now. So let's make our cities green. Let's make our homes green. And that's possible. Because I believe, it's like I started here. I told you, how nice would it be if we can get people standing in line to enjoy nature like these dogs would like to enjoy this tree. And I promise, we can get men this crazy, they would stand in line to pee against a tree. And if you don't believe me, I have a little video about that.